Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of With Shuraim. Today we have an amazing guest and we'll be having a conversation with the ambassador of Palestine. Yes, I know, most of us are worried. What is happening in Palestine? Why are thousands of millions of people dying on a daily basis? And some of us are even confused on what to do. Alhamdulillah, before we kickstart this program with the ambassador, stay tuned and we'll be right back. And welcome back. Alhamdulillah, our guest for today is none other than Ambassador Abdullah Muhammad Abu Shawish. His Excellency, how are you doing? Good to have you in the program.
Thank you so much for your very kind words.
I am excited for that. You are here, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to come for the program. Thank you so much. I know how difficult it must be to come on a program to talk about issues like this, but thank you so much for accepting to come.
Thank you so much, of course, for hosting me also. And thank you so much for your followers.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Back October, on the 7th of October, most of us, my peers, young people, we know there was an issue in Palestine. People have been killed before now, and the likes of it. But we didn't know about the main issue. The only story we had was Hamas attacked Israel. And then there was a repercussion from Israel to Palestine. That is Gaza. And we're all worried at the likes of it. And a lot of people will say, oh no, there's a story behind this, there's a history behind this and the likes of it. Your Excellency, tell me about the Palestine struggle. Tell me about the Palestine story. Because those watching right now want to know, what is the Palestine struggle?
Again, indeed, what did you mention, that's October 7th, which is the Western media and the Israeli propaganda and the Western media, of course, the completely biased Western media outlets trying to tell us or to convince us we should all believe that the history was started only October 7th, which is not true. Just I used to say that October 6th, Friday, 7 Palestinians was slain. Since the beginning of this year till October 6th, again, 152 Palestinians was completely killed. One of them, Muhammad al-Tamimi, 2.5 years old. He snapped for fun. This is how is our life. But again, the history is very long, deep. Not only, we cannot start measuring the history only October 7th. The history is starting, unfortunately, in November 2nd, 1917, when the United Kingdom, the mandatory power over the historical land of Palestine, issued the notorious, the despicable Balfour Declaration. In this declaration, they pledged, they gifted our historical land, Palestine, to the European Jewish. At that time, they saw the seeds for our unfortunate situation, which we watching it, which we witnessing it today. Then the European Jewish start immigrate and claim asylum to our historical land, again, Palestine. They used to hold and to travel by our passport, the Palestinian passport. They used to trade. Yes, I know. All of this information, nothing of this information should be declared or should be known all around the world, because this will completely change the narrative. This will completely change the discourse. Those foreigners start taking our nationality. We used to call them Palestinians. Using our currency, using our airport, Al-Lid airport, which is called today Ben Gurion Airport. It's a pure Palestinian airport. The seaport, the main seaport in Israel today, Haifa seaport, is a pure Palestinian seaport, long time ago, before the establishment of the State of Israel. This is from there we should start measuring the history. Then they started organize themselves in a military gang, fully supported by the United Kingdom, those military gang, Lehi, Eitzel, and others start conducting massacres against the Palestinian people before also the establishment of the State of Israel. Any one of you can Google just Deir Yassin, Google it Tantura, Google King David Hotel. He will discover, or just to write massacres against the Palestinian people before 1948. He will discover tens of massacres there. Then they expelled us from our historical land. They ethnically cleansed us in 1948 from our historical land. This is the reality. This is the history. They at that time occupied and built State of Israel in 78% of the historical land of Palestine. In 1967, they occupied the remaining part, which is the 22% of our historical land. 56 years ago, they occupied the remaining part of our historical land. This is the history. So that when 10 days ago, Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, mentioned that October 7th was not erupted or come from a vacuum. After 56 years of brutal Israeli occupation, demolition, dehumanization of Palestinian people, this is the exact or the natural reaction to this brutal occupation. This is the history that everyone, without tens of details, I know that we did not have that much time to talk about these details, but I hope that you can invite me. I can talk 2, 3, 4 hours about every single details in this history. So that this is the history. This is the essence of the issue. This is the root. And here I would like to raise again my voice and to say that all the theory of problem solving is all of the time stressing on one very important issue. When you want to solve or to analyze any problem, go to its roots. Don't just analyze or take a look to the symptom.
No, Your Excellency, this is amazing because what you just said, a lot of people, especially in Africa, are not aware of all this stuff. Unfortunately, we live in a generation whereby people don't read history anymore. People don't study history. So I believe that, okay, if the Palestinians have been oppressed for a long time, there was not much media talk about it, to talk about the Palestinian struggle, the way you have talked about it now, that this has been going on and on. And my next question to you, Your Excellency, will be this. What is the relationship? Because now people are saying, oh no, of course, there was a sleeping dog, which was Hamas and the likes of it, and Hamas attacked on the likes of it. So everyone is saying, no, Hamas is the terrorist. And then the Israelites are saying that, oh no, we're trying to clear Hamas because Hamas is a terrorist group. And if we don't clear the terrorists and the likes of it, we have all seen across the entire world today that kids are dying, mothers are dying. We've seen the hospital that has been bombed, churches and mosques have been, brought so down, and it's quite haunting. Do you think that the role the Hamas are playing and the action of the Israelis to the Hamas is justifiable in any way?
Absolutely. It's not only the Israeli who is claiming that Hamas is a terrorist group. The occupation club, and I used to use this term, all of the Israeli supporters, I used to call them the occupation club, is used to tell or to say that this is a terrorist group. But the question is, did you find in the history any occupier called or named his resistance people as a legitimate resistance? No, of course no. Even Nelson Mandela was considered as a terrorist man. Not only by the apartheid regime, but by all of the same exact countries that they're considering Hamas and the Palestinians as a terrorist people, the same exact countries that used to consider Nelson Mandela as a terrorist man. This is fact. Any one of them, all of the colonial countries, considering you in Africa, sorry to say that. I'm really so sorry to say that, because this is how they used to tell us this info. Anarchist, uncivil, to the end list of these stupid and unacceptable wording about the African people. This is how did they want, because unless they dehumanize us. Dehumanize us, I mean we as a Palestinian and you as African, they will not have the legitimate right, or at least among their people in the north, to continue occupying us. So that this is what is happening. Back to the most important issue in this regard. Again, you cannot, under any circumstance, you cannot say that our legitimate right to resist the occupation is act of terrorist. This is only the Israeli and their supporters is used to say that. But our right to resist the occupation, like your rights in Africa, many countries in Africa was under the colonial occupation, and they resisted it. It was very legitimate. It is very legitimate, and it will continue to be very legitimate. Our right to resist the Israeli occupation is completely aligned with the international law. Period. So that we are, even with resisting the Israeli occupation, we are abide ourselves with the international. But again, Israel is trying to corner only one part of the Palestinian people, and for sake of argument, I will go with them. This is against Hamas, which is completely not true. This is against Palestinian people long time ago, 106 years ago. It was launched by the United Kingdom itself and continued by the Israeli today. But it is very long time, very long war against the Palestinian people. The question is, and again, I will go with the Israeli narrative and say this is against Hamas. Could you explain to me, if it is against Hamas, why they bombard the Baptist hospital, which is a Christian hospital? Why did they bombard and completely destroy the third oldest church on the world, which is in Gaza? And 18 loved Christian Palestinian became murdered. They killed them. They slain them. If it is against Hamas, what is the purpose of killing all? What is the purpose of destroying more than 40,000 house units till today? Completely leveling it. If it is against Hamas, and Hamas is not there. If it is against Hamas, for example, it's not in West Bank. Till today, approximately more than 180 Palestinians was killed since October 7th. In West Bank, where is no Hamas and no. If it is against Hamas, why they are hiding our money, which they collected it on because they're controlling all the borders, so that export and import is going through them, and all the tariff and all of these issues is collected through them. Then they send it to us. This month they did not send us any single penny. They stolen our money. If it is against Hamas, what is your problem with West Bank? And there is another tons of evidence that we can talk about. If it is against Hamas, how come you killed more than 11,000 Palestinians? 2/3 of them is it child? More than 11,000. We still have more than 2,000 under the rappel. Till today, the question is, if this is against Hamas, what is your justification of killing all those innocent people? 2/3 of them is children and women. The question, they are trying to justify it, and you saying that this is Hamas is using them as a human shield, which is again not true. But for sake of argument, I will go with them. Hamas, for example, for sake of argument, they take those innocent people, those innocent children, as a human shield. In this case, Hamas is conducting a war crime. Then you came and bombard those human shield. This is not true. They have a hide plan, not only to destroy that, to make sure that Gaza will not stand up in the upcoming 20 or 30 years, so that it will not be a place to be lived for it and on it.
You know,
They're destroying the hospitals, all the infrastructure, the schools, everything. So that even if the war was ceased today, and any opportunity, and there is a window of opportunity for the people to leave Gaza, they will leave because there is no schools, no hospitals, no infrastructure, nothing for the regular and the suitable human life. They're destroying the streets. Could you imagine destroying just the street by the D9s for nothing? Even the streets, they destroy it, they level it.
Your Excellency, there is a notion here, especially here in Nigeria, that this war going on at the moment is a Muslim and Jewish thing. And also, there are no Christians in Gaza, and so this doesn't affect them at all, and so. Can you shed more light on this notion?
It's not, unfortunately, it's not a new notion. When I came to here, I discovered that 1 year ago, and before I came to here, of course, I paid a visit to my distinguished leaders, the Christian leader in Palestine, Beit Lahem in particular, and they alert me that there is a big notion there. You will face a lot of challenges when it came to the church and the Christian people, because in the best case scenario, they did not care about the issue, but in other scenario, they aligned themselves to some extent, part of them, of course, with the Israeli narrative, because they believe that this is a Muslim Jewish issue, which is, again, is completely, totally 100% is not true for many reasons, and I will going to tell you why. Our struggle is not against the Jewish people or the Judaism itself. Our faith as a Muslim, me as a Muslim, cannot be completed without believing of the other two faiths, which is the Christianity and the Judaism itself. So that it should be very clear. Second, my first ever boss, and I'm very proud to say that, my first ever boss in the Ministry of Planning and International Cooperation, when I joined this ministry a long time ago, 25 years ago, was a Jewish man. His name is Ilan Halevi. He's the political advisor for the minister at that time. Is it clear? Part of our leaders today in Fatah Revolution Council is a Jewish man and Israeli. Is it clear? This is for when it came to the Jewish issue. A lot of decent voice today, whom is aligned, not only aligned, and strongly defends our right to have our homeland in Palestine, to our right of return to our original, is pure Jewish decent voices. The one who deliver, the one who alert the whole entire people all around the world that there was a genocide. There was what happened in 1948 is ethnic cleansing. Is Ilan Pappé. Any one of you can Google Ilan Pappé. Ilan Pappé is a Jewish historian, Israeli Jewish historian man, and he's defending us all over the world. But when it came to the Christianity, the connection between the Muslim and the Christianity in Palestine, undividable. Also with the original Jew, of course. Just back to the original Jew, because part of our extended families today, the Muslims, especially in Hebrew, is originally Jewish. Period. We know that, and they know that, and the Israeli know that. When it came to the Christians and the Christianity itself is gifted by the Holy Land, by Palestine, the whole entire world. So that when it came to the Christianity, the heart of the Christianity should be and will continue to be Palestine, the Holy Land itself. There, born Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, there in our homeland, in Beit Lahem, in the nativity of a church, which is under our control today. So that when it came to the Christianity, we are there. We are the Christian people. The Holy Tomb is ours. The nativity of a church is ours. All of this is ours and pure Palestinian issue. But again, when it came to the Christianity and to the Christian people, unfortunately I discovered that no one is knowing or hearing about George Habash himself. And George Habash is a Christian. He was expelled from his his homeland or his town at that time in 1948. George Habash established and launched the most tough, so to speak, military resistance against the Israeli occupation, which is the Popular Front. His assistant is Saad Haddad, another Christian man. A lot of Christian people became murdered. A lot of Christian people in Palestinian Christian people is jailed in the Israeli jail. It's very clear to us at least, but unfortunately, again, the media will not, the Western media outlet, the dominant media outlet, will not show this picture for a very simple reason. If they show this picture, this will shake. And this will not give the Israeli occupation and the Zionist movement the dominant in Africa and Latin America. The domination, yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because.
But again, another one, I should raise his name or two. At least everyone should know that the Archbishop Capucci was smuggling the weapons to the Palestinian. To the Muslim Palestinian faction, which is Fatah, and of course Jabhat Shabi. But this is our struggle. Yes, it's the Muslim, the Christian, or the same exact both in this regard.
That's amazing.
I know it's amazing. That's a new information. I know since I came to here. I know it's shaking the whole entire old beliefs around the whole in Africa. I will not name more than that. But in Africa, it shaked the old beliefs. Some of them are we part of, as a Christian, are we part of this struggle? You are not only part of this struggle, you are the essence of this struggle. The military struggle was issued and was established by the essence of nationality itself. In the Middle East was created by Michel Aflaq, another Christian Arabic man from Syria.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's quite unfortunate that humanity can commit such evil against itself and still feel nothing and still try to put names to it. And it's quite unfortunate. Before we continue this conversation, we're just going to go on a short break and we'll be right back. All right, viewers, we've been discussing with the ambassador of Palestine to Nigeria. And amazing, we've been having so many revelations that we never knew before. I myself am surprised because, trust me, I don't even know much about what he is saying until now. But stay tuned for more. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have been discussing with the Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Abdullah Muhammad Abu Shawish. I love your name, Habibi. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
Jazakallah khair. Before we go on the break, you were saying amazing stuff about the history of Palestine. You also talked about how amazing that this war is not just has to do with the Muslims or Christians or Jews. See, it's a collective thing, and this is something that we have to come together and look at the humanity in it rather than calling names and putting all these things in place. And the facts that you gave about how the Christians even helped you in Palestine, and when I say they helped you, you said no, they didn't help us. We are one body. Sure. We are the same. We are brothers and sisters of each other. That is really remarkable. My next question is this. We are aware that the international communities have been calling for a ceasefire, and there have been like a lot of protests in the UK. Everyone is aware today, because I personally feel that if you're a human being and what is happening in Gaza does not, move you, then there's something huge wrong with you. And the first time I met you and I had a conversation with you, you said something very remarkable. You said, Shuraim, this is your moral responsibility to discuss these issues, to talk about these issues. And that's why today I felt it in the sense that we must have this conversation with you. Now everyone is calling for a ceasefire. No one is doing any ceasefire. The communities, Israel said, no, they're not going to stand by. What do you think is the way out?
Again, when it came to the ceasefire, according to the decision makers, to the political decision maker on the world, which is the United States and the European country, is not on the table at all. Even the United States of America, United Kingdom, completely paralyzed, and shut down the windows before on the Security Council to take a strong decision to calling for a ceasefire. So that But when it came to the ceasefire, it's a request, it's a humble request from tens of millions of people all around the world, United States of America, United Kingdom, and the demonstrators, tens of millions was demonstrating to call for a ceasefire. But by the end of the day, we all know that ceasefire means that the decision maker should take it. And the decision maker, for sure, is the godfather of the current Israeli occupation. And for sure, when we talk about the godfather for the Israeli occupation, we talk about the occupation club. The occupation club means United States of America, United Kingdom, and the others, many other European countries. So that ceasefire is not on the table, unfortunately, till this moment.
You know, that's really remarkable that you were able to put it like that, because, you know, we might say that, oh, a lot of international communities are calling for ceasefire, and there will be, you know, a bit of a change in the situation that's happening in Gaza. And however, you know, what you just explained now is that there are powers behind this. America and Britannia, you know, they're all big powers that haven't publicly come out and say, no, ceasefire. And if you think that if they come out publicly and say ceasefire, this will actually happen?
For sure. If the United States of America decided now there should be an end to this war, it will happen. In 1956, Israel occupied a huge part of Egypt and Gaza, of course, which is Sinai. Then the decision came from the President Truman, I think his name at that time, to Ben-Gurion himself, the godfather of Israel, by the phone. Tonight you should withdraw. Tonight, it means tonight.
Right.
It was in the same exact night. They withdraw. But as long as those, the occupation club, whom benefit for sure from the current war in Gaza, are not interested in putting an end to this war, there will not be a ceasefire. All what they are, part of them start raising their voice, not all of them, part of them by the pressure, by the internal pressure, starting to talk about humanitarian pauses, humanitarian aid, humanitarian corridors, and all of these stuff. But the ceasefire, I can assure you, none of those countries talked about the ceasefire at all. One word.
You know, Your Excellency, tell me, when you speak to those at home, you know, your relatives at home, those that, you know, are directly affected by what is going on in Gaza, how do they feel? What do they say?
I did not like this type of a question for a very simple reason. My family is there. And once I start talk, I should think of them. But as ambassador, I cannot think of just Abu Shawish family then to leave the others. But again, I'm a human being by the end of the day. I'm trying my ultimate best not to think of my family itself, because many days I lost their connection with them. And as long as I lost the connection, I'm not pretty sure what is happening there. My entire family, the majority of them is living in a Nusayrat camp. Once I hear that and there is a bombardment in Nusayrat camp, by the end of the day, I'm a human being, and you should know that. No, I did not talk about this. Let us find another question. Because ambassador. As ambassador, I should be a professional. And to work professional, you should put all of your emotional issue aside. Otherwise,
which is very important,
I will not stand these days to benefit my people. My family is likewise any other family. I hope that I can see them by the end of this war.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
I hope that happens. Coming back to my next question, when I told the Nigerian community that we're going to have an interview with the ambassador of Palestine, and I said, what would you like me to ask him? Most of the Nigerian people were saying, how can we help? What can we do? We feel helpless. The least we can do is to make dua for them, and that's it. In your opinion, what do you think the Nigerian community can do?
Of course, first and foremost, from both sides, the Christian and the Muslim, don't stop praying for us. Please, don't stop praying for the Palestinian people. Your people, Christians and Muslim there in Palestine, is totally slaughtering. It's a textbook genocide. Don't stop praying to them. This is very important. We are believers, Muslim and Christian and Jew also, and the Hebrews people in Palestine, we are believers. So that don't stop praying for us. The other issue, and I appeal to every one of you, don't let anyone cheating you, fraud you. Many campaigns, many shameful campaigns to collect money for the Palestinian people all over Nigeria. We all know that the majority of those campaigns is a fraud campaigns. None of any single penny, any single naira you're gonna pay, it will not reach the people in Palestine for a very simple reason. If you want to send it, with all due respect to the collector of this money, they should change it to two types of money, dollar or euro. And any transaction, any bank transaction with dollar or euro will be completely controlled. Any bank transaction with dollar or by dollar or euro to Palestine is completely controlled, 100%, not 90%. And no one dare to send money to the Palestinian people unless it's go through an official channels. And the official channels is the Palestinian Liberation Organization or the Palestinian Authority. Otherwise, all of the people whom is begging on behalf of the Palestinian people is cheating you. We already, in the Embassy of the State of Palestine, received many charity, received some amount of money. We know that. And they deposited it on our account in the Nigerian bank. And we know how to send it. And we issue to every single one, deliver any single naira, we issue to him an official letter. Acknowledge that this man, by his name, with his phone number, came to the embassy or deposit in the bank, the account bank on for the embassy account bank, this amount of money. Otherwise, don't let anyone to begging on behalf of the Palestinians. It's very shameful. Really, it's very shameful. Especially these days, tens of begging campaign on behalf of the Palestinian people. I appeal also to the security here in Nigeria to start helping us to stop all of these begging campaigns. It's very shameful. We are paying from our blood. We need your help. Of course we need your help, but all of us should be 100%. Your every single penny, every single naira, you're gonna pay it will reach to the needed people. And we know that the majority, if not all of it, will not reach. And you are expert enough than me of how those people who is doing this very shameful issue. So that, again, please, to make the story short, don't allow anyone to cheat you or to begging on behalf of the Palestinian people. There is an official challenge for the channel for the Palestinian people to give them or to support them by the money, which is the Embassy of the State of Palestine to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can reach to us, and we're gonna guide you and issue to every one of you the necessary document that he already paid this amount of money. The third issue, which is part of the war against the Palestinian people, is the media war. You all have tens of thousands of videos about the Palestinian suffering these days. And you all have these very smartphones. You know how to use it. And you know all the criminals, decision maker, criminals, political on the high levels, whom is supporting this war. Just follow them in their Twitters and their Facebook and their social media accounts. Follow them and share with them, just share with them the videos that came from Palestine, the horrific pictures, the horrific videos. Share it with them. This is very important. It's very important to share all of these thousands of videos that came from Gaza with those criminal gangs who is deciding this war against the Palestinian people.
Yeah.
This for sure will help, because they have thousands of people of followers, millions of followers. And when they're gonna screw their screens, they will at least they will start discovering there is another side of this story.
I am completely speechless, Your Excellency. May Allah make it easy for the people of Gaza. And may Allah bring a lasting solution for the people of Gaza. And inshallah, I hope that we will be human enough to help the community and not cheat the community. May we not be of those who will use, misfortune for our benefit. It's quite heartening what you said about people out there using the name of Palestine to go and seek donations and knowing quite all right that this donation would come to
will
them.
not reach Palestine at all.
Palestine.
For very simple reason. They cannot transfer the money even unless it will be by dollar or euro. And the dollar and euro is any transaction is completely controlled.
And there is just one channel people can send money
The
to,
official channel
which is from the embassy.
from the Embassy of the State of Palestine.
And we will have the information put in at this program right now, inshallah. Wallahi, Habibi, I want to continue this conversation, but we have short time. And just before I end this discussion, I want you to know one thing.
Please.
You're not in this war alone. We are together with you.
We are on the right side of the history, so that today you're gonna find tens of thousands of our distinguished brother, Jewish and the Christian in the United States of America, in United Kingdom, is aligning themselves to us, to support us, to help us. We are on the right side of the history.
And guess what? When we, alhamdulillah, are on the right side of history, and those who chose to be on the fence will regret this day when it comes sometime. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really do appreciate.
I'm here. Please
Jazakallah
reach
khair.
out to
Thank you
us
so
as a
much.
Palestinian.
Thank you so much.
Reach out to me. I'm through you, of course, and through your very honorable channel. I would like to call for all the media outlets, different media outlets here in Nigeria and Africa, please reach out to us. There is another chapter give me the chance to tell our story you use to consume and to be feeded from the Western media outlet. It's time. I'm here to tell you our story. Then you decide. I'm not seeking any support of you, but I'm just one thing. And it's very fair. Listen to us. It's very fair to listen to us for the first time ever. Please reach out to me. I'm here to support, to help.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for coming on the program. This deeply means a lot, and I hope that Allah puts barakah in this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Dear viewers, we've come to the end of this program, and amazingly, I am completely moved. And one of the most shocking things, how inhumane can we be to use the suffering of a particular group of people that we consider as our human brothers. And I also say this stuff a lot of times, that we are all from one race, and that is the human race. And if we can take advantage of our brother's suffering to get money out of it, to go out there and collect money and use it for our personal gains and not giving it actually how we have to give it, I think you need to rethink the kind of person that you are, or the kind of organization that you're running. There is a way to send your funds, and that is through the embassy, and the embassy is in Abuja, and you can come and meet the ambassador, and these are ways to do stuff. And we need to support our brother as best as we can. And as the ambassador has said, through, number one, making prayers for them. Both Christians, Muslims, Jews, let's come together. Everyone, pray for them as best as you can. Secondly, is if you want to give money, there is a right channel to do that. And thirdly, we the media, we need to change the narrative. We need to talk about the actual story and what is really happening, and that's why we had the ambassador here at the program. I leave you all in the care of the most gracious, the most merciful. Until the next episode, Assalamu alaikum.